Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Ebbie with Ebbie Reviews, and this is going to be my review for David Makes Man, Season 1, Episode 9. Let me read the title because it's long. It's called Some Who I Love Are Dead. Okay, so it was a lot. So let's jump right into it because it immediately dumped me into my feelings. So we are at the Ville and everybody is in white and it's like they're having like a funeral. I thought something was crawling on me, but it's my hair. Okay, all right then. So there's pictures of JG up with the rest in peace, and people are wearing the airbrush t-shirts with his face on it, and they're dancing to this song called Motherless Child, and I'm immediately in my feelings. I was like ugly cry. I thought they killed JG and didn't, and they were gonna, in this episode was going to tell us what happened to him. Um, Gloria is pitiful. Like, I can attest to the authenticity of the ugly crying and the utter brokenness of Gloria crying over what was JG's coffin. Because literally, they had to pull me off. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. And they were Tara and all the kids were dancing to like a liturgical dance to Motherless Child, and it was beautiful and heartbreaking, and it was a lot. It was shot gorgeously. Like, it was, Jesus, it was a whole lot. It was a whole lot. A whole lot. If you're not watching the show, you should be. You absolutely should be. Okay, so they were using, but it wasn't real. They were using they then flashed to the present, and you see Willie Derek's mama walking around. Somebody who had her and was walking her, I guess, back to her apartment. And she's utterly devastated, and rightfully so. Um, so of course Hurricane Paul is still coming, and the windows are still boarded up. Shinobi is broken in his house, and the ghost of Willie Derek is just sitting there staring at him. That's all he sees. He can't. He's just sitting there, and Willie Derek is sitting there saying, he's like, "Why are you? I can't help you. I can't help you." So I continue to this state in my feelings. Okay, so Ray, of course, is at home and listening to music. His mama comes up to him and she's like, "Get yourself together. I gotta start this mofongo because your uncle is coming to ride out the storm with us," and that throws Ray immediately into a panic because he's trying to avoid his uncle. So like my notes literally say grief. I can't. And that's like I can't. Like I just can't. Cause let me give you a little something about grief. Even in your own grieving process, someone else's grief can trigger your own. Um, Especially if it kind of resembles or mirrors what happened to you. My son didn't die of an overdose. Um, he was 2 years old, so there's that. Uh, but just the fact of a mother losing a son, and then I sometimes I get triggered depending on mentally where I am. Some days I can move through and not let it affect or trigger my own grieving process. And some days it's like it just happened yesterday. And I'm immediately thrown back to that place where the morning after I lost my son, I woke up to hearing the sound of his voice calling me. That's what woke me up. And I had to you have to come back to the realization that that person is gone. So today it's difficult to talk about. So if I don't really touch on the grief too much, you got to charge this one to my heart, because sometimes for your own self-preservation, certain things you're just unable to do. And so if this review seems a little choppy, that's why. So y'all just bear with me. So David, Jesus Christ, David is taking out the trash. He done packed his bag. His mama is sitting there dazed and confused because she's high. Now, I've been telling y'all the last couple reviews, she back using drugs. Nobody wants to believe me, but the baby is high. She high. So, David is like, all right, y'all packed? Are y'all ready to go? Where are we going? What's going on? What's happening? We gotta go. We can't stay here. You know Miss Gertrude is gonna be back here in a minute trying to figure out where we're going. And y'all are still sitting here, so what's up? What we doing? David goes outside to take out the trash, and he sees Tara. Tara is distraught over Willie Derrick dying. She's just like, I can't believe he's gone. They are taking Willie Derrick's mama. Tara and her mama are going over to her older sister's house, and they're going to take Willie Derrick's mama with them to wait out the storm. Tara starts to cry, and she rests her head on David's shoulder. David puts his arm around her, and then he has a little fantasy about kissing her, which is very cute. He doesn't. And then she was like, I'll see you when I get back, I guess. And she walks off. So Ray is terrified. He's at home and he's terrified. When his uncle comes in, he gives him a little hug. Like, it's all in his eyeballs. If you just look at his eyes, he's absolutely horrified that his uncle is here, and he has to deal with his uncle for however long this storm lasts. So we then go to David is sitting, and it looks like in the middle of a house. Somebody's having a storm party, which I never got the point of, but okay. The storm is coming, so let's party, I guess. I guess. So they're at JG's granddaddy house. And David's like, this is some bullshit. We can't, you can see the thoughts in his head as he's sitting there, and all these people is laughing and having a good time, and he's like, this is some bullshit. And so he gets up to go find his mama, who's sitting at the table with the granddaddy, and he drinking and cutting food, and he's like, and he grabs her cup and drink it, and she's like, David! And he looking at her like, bitch, what you doing? Like, what the hell you doing? And so JG's granddaddy, who's a complete ass, says to Gloria, oh, you so disrespectful. I always think he running things. You want me to have some young bucks take him outside and teach him a lesson? Bitch, what are you talking about? Are you... Okay. Bruh, if you don't... Sir, did you say, do you want some young bucks to take my son out and teach him a lesson? Do you want me to whoop your ass at this card table? No? Okay, then shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, you know what? No. 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 And then, so David sees that if they stay here, his mama's gonna go totally to the left. So he says, where's JG? And so that immediately puts Gloria into panic mode. So she gets up to go look for him. Um, and David and Gloria roll up on JG, and you can see JG's talking, and he said, "Yeah, my friend just died as well." Uh, and they're like, "JG, who are you talking about?" And she's Gloria's like, "Why are you talking to yourself?" And he's like, "No, I'm talking to Latrissa. She understands. She lost a friend too." We peek around the corner. It's some grown ass broad talking to this baby while she's smoking a joint. I couldn't have been Gloria because I mean I'd have been popping off at everybody. Like everybody would have got to pop off from me in this episode. I'd have popped off at this. What the fuck is you doing, bitch? If you don't get away, okay. So Gloria, rightly so, comes to her senses and says, "Okay, we gotta go. We have got to go. We can't do. We can't. This is not the move. We gotta go." So we then go back to Ray's house, and his uncle is fussing at him about Willie Derrick. And Ray says, he's like, and the uncle's like, "That can't come back to us. I hope you cleaned it up." He was like, "Yeah, that you don't have to worry about because David cleaned up everything up with no problem. He like a G." And he was like, "You ought to be kissing nigga around that nigga walks on." Then there's a knock at the door. The uncle has invited the Jamaican to come wait out the storm. And here we go into the drama because this is ooh, Jesus. Okay, so then we then switch to Gloria, David, and JG. They're on the bus on the way to Gloria's mama's house, and I don't know what Gloria took, but clearly she's on a nod. I guess she had to get high in order to go to her mama's house, and when we get to the mama's house, I understand why. And Gloria was like, they still haven't heard from Saren? You still haven't heard from Saren? And he was like, he didn't say anything. He didn't answer. And she was like, "God, her mama must be out of control." And Gloria says to David, "And you don't know nothing?" And I want y'all to listen and understand how David answers her question. She said, "You don't know nothing about what's happening with Saren." David's answer is, "I don't know where Saren is." David, of course, David knows what's going on with Saren. But clearly, at that time when he's on that bus, he doesn't know where Saren is. So, to answer truthfully, he just said, "I don't know where Saren is." Not, I don't know anything about what's happening. I don't know what's going on. None of that. He just says, "I don't know where he is." At that moment, he doesn't know where he is. So he tells his mama the truth that he knows to be at that time. Not really answer his question. Whew, okay. So they're at the dinner table. Okay, so we did go back to Ray's house, and we're at the dinner table with Ray's mama, the Jamaican, and the uncle. So Ray is really like, "Why are you not at your own house? Don't you have a family who loves you? Like, what are you doing here?" Um, and the Jamaican says, "Well, my wife and kids went up to New York to wait out the storm, and I decided to stay back here, to handle some business, blah, 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 blah." And he was like, "Well, don't you think you should have went with your wife and kids? I mean, that kind of sounded like a deadbeat dad to me." And then the Jamaican says, "Well, at least I'm still alive. I know it's hard for you with your daddy being dead." And He was like, maybe I'll take over and be your daddy and take your mama out. What you say? And then he winked at the mama, and Ray lost his shit. He grabbed the knife and tried to stab this nigga at the dinner table. I said, oh no. No. So the Jamaican clocks him upside the head, grab him by the neck and throw him down on the table. And he's like, I will kill you. You don't think I will kill you at this table in front of your mama? And Uncle Teo pulls out a gun and puts it to Jamaican head. He's like, okay, nigga, you done gone too far. This reaction solidifies what David was telling the uncle about the Jamaican last episode. So, which further putting doubt in his mind about the Jamaican. So, Teo puts the Jamaican out of the house in the middle of the hurricane. He's like, you got to get your shit and you got to get out. We're not doing this. He's like, you're not going to do this. You're not. And so they put him out of the house. Before he can say anything I don't know what he's divulged to the uncle or anything. But God. So Ray is in the bathroom and his mama is patching up the wound over his eye. And his mama is saying, me and your daddy never wanted this for you. She says that because the mama apparently used to sell drugs as well. And she's like, I just switched from selling drugs on the street to selling drugs over the counter. That's the only difference. But his mama is not stupid. Thank God his mama is not stupid. Because I thought she was like, oh. Because when we first meet her, you think that she thinks that her son is this, straight-laced, happy-go-lucky kid who's just hanging out. And I was like, well, what does she think he's doing all day? She was like, oh, get a job. And that's all she gave him. And he walked out the door and he always has all this money. And, none of that made sense being who his dad was. But apparently she knows what's going on. And she's like, and she, I guess, feels like she can't say anything to stop him. So she's allowing him to do whatever. And she knows what it is and she just wants him to be okay. So, and Ray is scared of everything. He's scared of life. He's scared of death. He's scared of his mama. He's scared of his daddy. Like, he's scared of everything. So he said he has to have a conversation with his uncle. So his uncle is sitting at the table with the gun at the table. And he was like, I haven't killed you because I don't want to do that to my sister. And I don't want to do it to me because I love you. And this is where David's plan kicks into play. And Ray blames, he's like, Uncle is like, why was there so much money? And Ray explains about, he's like, oh, with the new connect with the scripts and a lot of people are coming through. And it's been happening for the last couple weeks. He's like, I thought you knew. He's like, we've been giving the money to Desmond to imply that Desmond is skimming the extra money off the top and giving him and doing an in run around the uncle with this new connect with the scripts, putting Desmond's life in jeopardy. And the uncle seemed like he didn't believe him at first, and then he was like, damn, it be your own niggas. Because, treachery like that, doing in runs and trying to get over on drug bosses that's tried and true for the game. So, of course, the uncle bites and believes. From what we see, the uncle bites and believes it. We don't know what the relationship really is between Desmond and the uncle. Clearly, it's not that so great that the uncle won't kill him because he almost killed him at the dinner table. But we will see. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Then we go to Gloria and David and JG get to Gloria's mama's house. There's a pattern of raggedy ass mamas on this show. Because again, I wanted to get my boxing gloves out for this broad. First of all, Gloria's mama got all this love for her kids, but for her own child, she really doesn't have anything but criticism. And so they're sitting down on the couch, and she's showing her pictures of family members, like their uncle that was in Vietnam and stuff like that. Then Gloria happens to see a picture of the professor. And this is where confirmation that Ebony was right again. Shout out to Really B, because she swore for out this guy was David's daddy. A picture of the professor. And Gloria was like, where did you get this? How did you get this? Why do you have this? And she was like, what you should have done is you should have stayed with that man. Burr. She was like, what? The married man? The man who had a wife? Who denied his son when I came to the house? That man? Stay how? Stay where? What you talking about? That doesn't even... What? That doesn't even make sense. And so, the mama... The mama's stupid as fuck. So the mama said you should have did what you could to get that man to marry you. Why? So 5 years later, another broad can be on my doorstep with a baby talking about this is baby? Clearly this man has no integrity. He's a cheater. Same way you get him, the same way you lose him. Why would I want to do that? Like, I don't know. But that's not how. But I don't want. No, ma'am. Talk about get that man so he could take care. No, ma'am, we're not doing that. We're not. Okay, no. All of the no's. That ever knowed. Noville. No. And so Gloria and her mama get into this long discussion, and we found out that Gloria was indeed molested. So this is a tie-in to back when Gloria lost her job and she was on her way home on that bus, and she saw that grown-ass man whispering on that little girl, and the little girl looked terrified. And when Gloria looked at the little girl, she saw there was the younger version of herself. Gloria was indeed molested, and she was molested by her father. And she told her raggedy ass mama, and her mama didn't believe her, even when she walked into the room and caught the daddy laying on top of her. You caught this nigga on top of your child. How did this nigga die? Because if it isn't because you killed him, I don't understand. You ain't call the police. You ain't kick this man out your house. You ain't take your daughter to get checked out. Get her some counseling. Nothing. So David comes in mid-argument. So I don't think he heard some of the stuff, but he heard his mama and his grandmother talking, and he was like, she's right. Like, if you hadn't had me, you could have done anything with your life. And she slapped David and said, don't ever say that. Because I believe she firmly believes that David is her saving grace. This is getting long. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. because she probably would have killed herself if it had not been for David and JG. So there's that. So David is in the bathroom, and Gloria comes in and she looks through all the medicine. I guess she was looking for pain pills in her mama's cabinet. And then she grabs a heating bottle and she's gonna fill it up with hot water. And he's like, "Ma, there's no power. That's not gonna work. She has an electric heater." And so she goes to lay it down. He was like, I'll take care of it." And so he brings her a pill and some water, because he knows she's getting high. He knows it. So she tells David to pull the picture of Jesus off the wall. And in the back of the picture where the frame is torn, there's a little hidden pocket. And she pulls out, she has candy in there. And she was like, "Jesus always kept all my secrets." I guess that was her secret hiding place in the house. And she was like, "We were never allowed to have anything. No TV, no birthdays, no candy, no fun, no nothing." Because her mom is uber religious. Her mom is dumb as hell and needs her ass whooped. But, and congratulations to Leela Rashawn, because ma'am, you did that. I wanted to fight you. I wanted to punch you in your face. So they then talk a little bit about Saren, and she was like, "I can't believe you don't know where Saren is." She was like, "Sometimes friends are your saving grace, and they're the only things that keep you going. They give you something that you didn't even know you need." And that's when David asked her, "Is that why my middle name is Elijah?" And she just smiles. And then she says, and she turns over and goes to sleep. And she said, "Everything will be okay." So there is maybe a complicated relationship with Elijah and Gloria. And I think we're going to get more into that because they've been friends since they were children. So there's that. Out of shared pain will forge great bonds. So I'm sure that is some of what it is. And hopefully we get the rest of their story. Now, Shinobi, who refused to leave, is in this boarded up apartment. And Willie Derrick is just sitting there. And Shinobi is slowly losing his mind and his grief. And it is sad and terrible. Oh, yeah. It's sad and terrible to watch. So at the end of the episode, we see Saren. And he's sitting in the car. And somebody in a hoodie come bring some food and 2 drinks out. And Saren says, "Thank you." And that's all we see. We don't know who he is. That's not his daddy. If it was Star, they would have took the hood off and we'd have seen Star. But we don't know who he's with. We don't know exactly. We know he's in Tampa, but we don't know where in Tampa he is. But he is not with his dad. So we also see Saren's mama and stepdaddy, and they are both sitting on the opposite edges of the bed. And it feels like Saren was the connection between the two of them because they seem so far apart at this juncture. And I would hate to think that the only reason why the stepdaddy was with the mama was because he wanted to get at Saren. And so he got with the mama to get to Saren. It's what that says to me. But I could be wrong. But we will talk about it. That is all for this review of David Makes Man. If you want to join us in the discussion, please meet me, El Teddy 27 Official, Really Be TV, and the rest of the tribe on Really Be TV's channel Friday at 9 p.m. for a live panel discussion about this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.